friend of mine. I've been in that house 1,000 times.
You said the second one on the right is
second one from the right
house?
with the large staircase.
Oh wow, yeah, I'd love to.
Crazy on this road. So now we're going to be driving up the way that the killers walked up to
what are we talking about?
The Tate house, the Tate murders, yeah. The night of August 8th.
So they parked back there and drove up here, or walked up here.
And filmed right here too.
Driveway.
Yeah, David is here. This is his place.
Will you say that list again of all the shows that you've been on?
I've been on My Ghost Story, Ghost Adventure, Ghost Hunters, Paranormal Witness, Haunted History, Ghost Adventures, Aftershocks, Searching for Satan, and Dead Famous Live.
So what's haunted about your house? What have you felt? What I mean.
What have I felt? The faucets turn on by themselves on 3 different floors in front of 3 different people through the past 10 years now. I've seen actually the apparition of one of the victims of the Tate murders in front of my bed 14 years ago. Full body apparition. And no, he wasn't wearing those god-awful striped pants. He was actually wearing a double-breasted suit, short lapels like this, and he was perfectly fine.
It was Jay?
It was Jay. But his hair was kinked. It wasn't the way we all saw it in photos, where it was smoothed over because he didn't have his hair relaxant in his hair. His natural hair was kinked.
Oh, wow.
So we've also had experiences with Native American spirits visiting here. A little girl's been visited here. She plays this keyboard on its own. It's not so much that it's this house, the whole area, according to what I've heard from friends and neighbors.
Right.
They've had experiences connected nothing to do with the Tate murders.
Which is right at the end of this street.
Right.
Do you see a heavy turnover in people that live in the houses on this street? Do they get freaked out? Do they leave? Or I mean, you don't seem bothered by it.
Most people do this. They put blinders on. So if it happens, it's like it's dismissed immediately. It's rationalized away. In some cases, like one of my neighbors down close to the Benedict Canyon, Aunt Cielo, said to me 10 years ago, she goes, we had a problem when we moved in and we were remodeling the house. I said, what happened? She goes, in the middle of the night down the hallway, we would hear footsteps going bump, 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 and opening and closing the doors to the cabinets where the linens were. And she said, we called up the people who were the house was bought under a probate, which means that somebody died and the house was then sold through the city or the county. Well, they found out the original owners who they were, and they contacted the children, and they said, before they had a chance to say we're having problems, they said, oh yeah, that's our father. He's upset you're remodeling his house. Oh. And he died 3 years earlier in a convalescent home. So they got a shaman in there, and she basically helped the person into the light. And then subsequent to that, there were other problems where she said, we had a whole party last night. I said, you didn't invite me? And she goes, no, David. In the middle of the night, there was a whole cacophony of people conversing in our bedroom, and we flipped the lights on, and it went silent. I said, oh. So it's not just my house. My house just happens to be the most, how should you say, the newest house on this block. It has, through the structural... Are
you the first owner?
My father and I built this house. There was a lot here.
Wow.
20 years ago. We bought it in 1999. It was a similar slope as to this, if you can imagine. It comes that way.
Oh, my God.
This way. Not as steep on this coming down here. I mean, give you an idea here. If you look down the hillside here, this was what the lot looked all the way over. That's how steep it was.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that bad. But when we bought the lot, it was a foreclosure, and there were 13 caissons and rebar on the property. So we built on top of that was already existing. So it was a real steal and a bargain. And the structural engineer advised that we put in 4 steel I-beams, like in steel girders, I guess you'd say, from like a skyscraper, to support the 2nd and 3rd floor. As a result, there's so much naturally occurring electromagnetic field energy in the earth here that the metal and the steel and the rebar and the gray beams and all this stuff that's reinforced with steel has become magnetized all the way through the 4 steel I-beams that are supporting the 2nd and 3rd floor, and we have a 30-foot wrought iron spiral steel staircase.
This is like Close Encounters or something like that.
We have ambient DC EMF levels of around 5,000 milligauss positive, all the way down to 5,000 milligauss negative. And normal is between 3 and 500 milligauss positive. So it's the perfect environment for spirits to manifest, according to what Dr. Taft had said 14 years ago, which is why when you come in or you come in or you come in, the spirits around each and every one of you hit this environment, they can manifest. And I make it an analogy between taking a reptile from a cold environment where it's sluggish and putting it into a warm environment where it becomes active.
Right.
Same thing with the spirits and you guys. And we've had people here last night and we had strange stuff happening. It was
Really?
crazy stuff. Yeah.
Any chance I could come in and vlog that at some point?
Yeah,
I'd love to.
Give me your information, and I'll be happy to give you a call. We did it last night. I do things that are a little bit more than the paranormal investigations that are usually out there. We started at 6 o'clock in the evening. We had barbecued chicken breasts and a whole dinner. We had some alcohol, some beer during the dinner. And then at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, we went through and we started investigating. And we did a seance, and we went until about 2 in the morning. And it was a very heady night last night. I mean, really, like at 6 o'clock when people came in, they went downstairs and they said, "Oh my God, it's heavy." And it's like, really? She goes, "Oh yeah, it's going to be a hot night tonight." And it was just, it's palpable. You'll feel the energy in the house when you walk in. And
have you found that it's
negative?
Yeah.
No.
Do you see? Okay, that's I was gonna say.
No,
do you see any violence or anything that's made you?
I've seen people that have asked for trouble and have gotten. I mean, somebody said, "I want physical proof."
Right.
So last night he goes, "I got scratched." I said, "Where?" And he goes, "Right here." I said, "Wait a second, did you ask for physical proof?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, what the do you expect? You just got a little mark on your back and that's what you wanted, didn't you?" He goes, "Yeah, I guess I did." And that's the thing. You can't be dishonest with the spirits. It's like they know what the hell is going on. They know if you're a shithead or a person of quality and respect. It's a matter of what your intention is internally, how you put it out there, and it doesn't matter. I mean, my neighbor James, who's Usher's brother, came over and said, "Hey, there's a party. You're having a party. Can I come in?" It's like, "Sure, you want to come in?" He goes, "It's not a party. It's a ghost investigation." He goes, him and his friend go, "Okay." And they just
That's what I figured the response was going to be.
And it's like, but this house was an Airbnb last year, and we had a couple of Jamaican guys that were rappers that were staying here, and I told them about the house was active. No, this house.
Okay.
And I said to them, it's no longer an Airbnb. And they said, "We had problems." I said, "What?" He goes, "Well, I was in the shower on the second floor, man, and I hear footsteps going across the ceiling." I said, "Yeah?" And he goes, "There was no one in the house but me." I said, "Yeah, that happens." And I stayed in that house and we had stuff happen. It was fun. It was like the front door just closed on its own. I'm going, there's no breeze. And it's like, and the door weighs a good 200 pounds. So it's impossible to just sit there and just like push it over. They do it, and they did it last night. It was amazing. It was just like, this one got knocked over, and then we put it back up, and then this one got knocked over. And I said, "You see, it wasn't the same one." They go, and we're pounding on the top of the aquarium where these are, and they're not coming down. And I said, "They've been there for hours." And then all of a sudden it's like, boom. And I said, "Nope, now it's the other one." Then boom, the other one. It's like strange stuff happens.
But you love it.
These 18 to 20-year-old bloggers, these girls, I said, "We're all going to die, and we're all going to die." And they said, I said, "Not tonight." I said, "But I'm saying to you, we're all going to die at some point. So what is the rational fear of what you are eventually going to have to deal with one way or another? Since, as Jim Morrison said, no one here gets out alive. We're all going to die. So the irrational fear of, I'm going to be afraid of when I go to there, it's like, well, you better get used to it because that's there. No matter what you say, you cannot avoid death. And that's that. So when Lisa Williams came here 14 years ago after Ghost Hunters aired, and she walks in and you'll see, I'll say exactly where she stood and tell you what happened. She said, I was looking into the bar. She goes, "Do you know you have a big party in your bar?" And I'm going,
"Big party?"
"Yeah." And I said, "What do you mean a big?" I'm like screaming. She goes, "Oh, well, Jay's there and Sharon's there and there's some Native Americans and there's some other people and Rudolph Valentino's there." And I'm like going, "Okay."
The whole neighborhood, literally.
Yeah, literally. And I'm like going, I can't see, and I'm going, And she says, "Well, they want me to tell you they really appreciate your attitude." I'm going, I said, "Okay." I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, they really appreciate you letting them stay here." And I'm like going, And I took a beat and I said, well, I said, first of all, I'm going to not be here forever, so why would I piss them off and kick them out? So when I get to to the other side, it's like the eternity. My eternity is going to be getting my ass kicked from here to Kingdom Come because I kicked a bunch of spirits out of my house because I was an... So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And she laughs and she goes, I said, furthermore, I've seen the way that Sharon and Jay and the rest of them had died at the end of the street. And I said, I have the utmost empathy and sympathy for them specifically, so I don't feel like adding insult to injury. I said, that's why I wouldn't touch that. I said, I have no interest in doing that. And she loved it. She goes, well, that's what they said. They say, that's what they think. They really appreciate your attitude. And it's like, okay, cool. I said, I've got friends on both sides of the planes of existence. And she goes, that's the good attitude. And that's how I treat it, because you take out what religion you are, you're still going to die.
This house has been on, well, his entire list of ghost shows, so now he's going to show us the haunted house.
What is that puppy's name?
Why should we negotiate for you guys? Listen, it's colorful language, and I think that the president is going to have to own his pattern of behavior and saying, not years to years, but that I do believe that we do need to find a way together.
John Lennon.
So welcome to my home.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one. Oh, that's Sam. Yeah, my black cat's out. Sammy, hello, Sam.
How many cats do you have? Hi, kitty. Oh, I love you already.
Wow, look at all those autographed boxing gloves. Look at that picture of Sharon Tate on his wall. I don't think anybody anticipated we'd be going into a world famous haunted house today, but we are.
Then I turn off the television. Then we can have that as a back.
So he was telling us these figurines on top are the ones that are falling over. Vander Holyfield boxing glove.
We had a birthday.
Muhammad Ali. Wow, check out this crew. Kenny Norton.
So tell me, do you guys
Joe
feel
Frazier.
You can go in the balcony if you like as well.
George Foreman, Mike Tyson,
Tyson,
Larry Holmes. I'm not feeling anything yet.
Oh, wow.
Spectacular.
This guy lives like 2 doors down from, 4 doors down from the Manson murders, the Sharon Tate.
That's Richard Anderson's house, or it used to be when he was alive. That Oscar Goldman, that was his place.
Oh.
Yes. That's his house down there. It was his house. He used to sun on the sun deck there all the time.
Now this is the Falcon's Lair up here that we were just at.
How come you look like a gosh darn piece of 150 year old? Barbecue and hors d'oeuvres and the drinks. Tate House. Wow. And actually you can see one of the bodies there covered under the white sheets.
Oh my God.
That's Stephen Parent's car there. Mm-hmm. That's where the wishing well was that Sharon was always so, you know, happy about. Mm-hmm.
And you're only 4 doors away from that.
Yeah, this actually shows you where we are. This is the Tate House. This is the end street. This is the house next door to us, and we're right here. And these lots are only 48 feet wide. So these homes are only 38 feet wide. Mm. So that shows you relatively, we're right here. Mm. It doesn't look anything like that present day. It's been totally revamped. And here's another shot. This is the driveway leading up. See, this is the house next door to us. Right. This is the house, there's Sharon's. And this is where we are right here. Mm.
Apparently he's a Leo as well. He's going to take us downstairs.
Hi, Fiona. Fifi. The kitty cat back in the house, by the way.
Wow, check out that picture of Jim Morrison.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, look at this whole hallway dedicated to Jim Morrison.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Come on, right on fire.
Autograph.
Wow. 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 Gee.
Look at that.
Oh.
And this guy's apparently a massive fan of the boxer, Jack Johnson. And you're about to see this entire room is a shrine to Jack Johnson.
And then walk all the way down and tell me if you feel a difference in the anything.
Energy?
Yeah. I don't want to gild anybody's, mind into, predisposition, but do you feel anything different when you walk down this hallway?
You just get real cold. There's like
drafty.
But as far as anything else, and then walk down to this side, see if you feel anything, pressure change or anything like that. Some people are different than others. You might feel a little more sensitive. Ones more sensitive actually might feel like pressure changes or stuff like that.
Are these all your posters?
Yes.
So you personally got them?
Yes.
Oh.
You feel any difference going down the hallway at all?
Oh, kind of like a little bump.
Okay, now we're gonna go down another level.
I think he was up around Laurel Canyon.
I don't know if you feel any difference in the shift in the energy when you came down here, right when you're here. If you do, just say, raise your hand if you feel different. Anything different, all right? When you come down here.
I do.
If you feel a difference in like a shift, just something different. I can't explain it,
Gosh, look
I
at all
don't want to
those
explain it, because if I do
autographs.
it, it's not good for you guys to be able to express what you feel.
It's like an anxiety.
Pressure.
Oh, animal house.
Also, I'll show you guys something else about the uniqueness of the house to prove my point. This is a standard old-fashioned, good old Boy Scout field compass. Not a digital one, just an old-fashioned one.
Right.
True north sits to about there where that Animal House picture is.
Okay.
I have over here on this bar counter, which is nothing more than an old, this is an antique cabinet that was my grandparents', and we brought it in after my parents sold their house. And I'll show you what I'm going to do here. There are two different crescent wrenches here. This one was down here most recently, a couple months. I'm going to show you what happens when you bring this compass to it. And you can all come up here and take a look at it for yourselves. Nothing really happens to this compass. Oh, son of a bitch, it's already started to happen. All right. It has a mild magnetic field to it now. Now look at this one. And this one's been down here for several years now. And watch what happens when I do this.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm trying to say is the magnetic field is so strong in this house that this just sitting here on this counter has become magnetized to the point where now this one's starting to become, that's where true north is. Let's see if it does have any effect. All right, it's not having any effect on it.
So we're on the bottom floor. Huh?
So that gives you an idea. Like I said, it's crazy. We've had voices that have been recorded here from people that are not here. I've been interviewed by James Oster with JoeBlow.com, and he said when he was doing the Poltergeist DVD Blu-ray release event, he goes by himself, he goes, I've been in here many times, and strange things have happened. And right on, as if on cue, this little girl's voice goes, here's one, and it was like, oh my God. And it was recorded, like on your thing, you might hear sounds of voices that are like whispering right on top of the mic and saying, hi, how are you? That's a spirit EVP with no boxes, no digital Frank's boxes or that crap or anything. But it's crazy.
You just put it to headphones tonight.
Yeah, you should. Groff, during Ghost Adventures, had his little meltdown in the darkness, and Zach and Aaron were upstairs laughing and watching in the van. So come on in. I don't know if you guys are feeling a difference from that room into this room, but if you do, all right, when you all come in here, I'll ask you then. And by the way, this is the keyboard that they left during the DVD Blu-ray release event for Poltergeist. This is the one that they left because it plays on its own. During that evening, it was people coming up to saying, your keyboard, it's playing, it played one single note. I'm like, well, it's not my keyboard. And this whole room was dressed up to look like the little girl's, Carrie Ann's room from Poltergeist. I mean, all of this was all removed. They had a little tiny little single bed here with a hamper and clothes and a dresser and a lot of stuffed animals. I mean, they had a 5-foot tall stuffed teddy bear here, and it just was all strange. I really went in here and said, who the hell's house is this? This is not my house. It was strange. Now that we're all together, does anybody feel different in this room versus that room that we just came from? Raise your hand.
I do.
All right, so you guys, you don't feel any like pressure or anything What do you guys?
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
Like an anxiety.
Like is like pressure right here?
Yeah.
Some kind of. There's sometimes people
In here.
heavier, like a heaviness. Like somebody said last night. There's something like pushing down on me into the ground.
Why can't I get that?
Yeah.
That's a first.
Only Nancy
That's
would
a
lament
first.
not feeling a ghost.
I will give you all my business.
She's like, I paid for a tour, come on.
I did it kind of personally. Was it something I said?
You can go to my YouTube channel and take a look. I've got a film called House at the End of the Drive, which is based on my experiences here in a semi-fictionalized account based upon the Sharon Tate murders.
Okay.
Because when I made the movie, I didn't, and I still don't want it, I didn't want to exploit the murders, so I took the characters and put them in to the scenario of a guy buying a house on a private drive where this murders took place, and it's haunted by those spirits. And lots of weird stuff has happened, and real life went right into the film. So you guys can go look at the YouTube channel and see the videos that have been shot here. Yes.
Did your father own this home before you?
No, we
moved
built
into
it. No, we built it from scratch. There was nothing here. In 2002, we finished it. So from 1999 to 2002 in
So
August 30th.
your dad wasn't living here when the murders or anything like that?
No, we lived over in Bel Air when the murders took place. And what's ironic is my dad and mom's first house that they built, which was a duplex, was on the street called Roble Vista. And Roble Vista Drive, where they were on the duplex up the mountain, was about 150 feet down the cul-de-sac, from the end of the cul-de-sac, where Manson had gone the next night, and he got to that house and the dogs were barking, and they decided not to go to that house, and they literally drove up the street past my parents' duplex that my dad built there 14 years earlier in 1955. It was a new Bel Air, because it was built after the Bel Air fire, was down the street from Jan Berry's house, of Jan and Dean. And when I was a kid, my mom used to give hitchhikers rides in her 1968 Cadillac Eldorado, and the girls got in the back seat, always girls, and I'd be in the front seat, and I looked and I said, there's something strange about these girls' eyes. They had this like this, yes, Mrs. Oman, thank you, Mrs. Oman, like this weirdness. And then 6 months later, after the, when they were at the LAPD and they were at the Parker Center and they were talking about the girls being brought in for trial, my mom said, oh my God, on the nightly news, she goes, David, those are the girls that I gave rides to back, earlier in 1969. And I said, yeah, Mom, many times. And then in 1970 or 71, my parents' house experienced, what was it called, creepy crawly. I woke up at 7:30 in the morning because my mom would stop at her house and she goes, girls, Jan's house is up the street. You have to walk from this point on. I'm not a chauffeur. And they go, well, thank you, Mrs. Oman. We knew what it is. We'll walk. So as a result of her kindness, they came in and did creepy crawling at my parents' house. And I was the one who found it at 7:30 in the morning. I'll never forget. I went into the kitchen, and I looked, the sliding glass door is open. I'm like, what? I looked and I said, around the patio, on the other side of the patio, there's a patio chair and table, and on the table I saw something glistening. And I said, what the fuck? So I go outside, and I'm like 67 years old, I'm going, and there's I'll never forget, a Sara Lee coffee cake tin with a piece cut out on a paper plate with an American Craft Slices, American Singles that was half eaten and the other half was still in the cellophane. And I'm like, and I turned around and I started looking around and I saw in the hedge my dad's pants were there, and then my mom's purse was over the railing at the other side of where the railing was. I'm going, holy hell. And my mom woke up and I said, Mom, look what happened, Dad. And she goes, somebody came in our house when we were all asleep. And she goes, it's a good thing you didn't wake up in the middle of the night and have one of your sleepwalking moments. And it's like, yeah, you think? So that's the irony. And we used to come here when I was in high school in 1978 and 79 to see the Tate house. And I would be the first one, go up to the gate and go, I read the book, I know what the hell happened there, and I say, I can't start drinking a beer on account that I gotta pay homage to these people who died here. And that's the irony, is that I then, 20 years later, end up buying a lot down the street here. It's like...
That is bizarre. How many died that night?
5 people died, and...
In the house, how many in the house?
5, well, Stephen Parent was outside on the way out, but 4 in the house, and Sharon was 8.5 months pregnant. Store and the house next door to the house at the very end of the driveway, which the woman said, I didn't want to get involved, so I didn't call the police, but she heard the gunshots. She's this lucky, this close to being murdered herself. And it's just, the whole myth about the Sharon having a party. There was no party. Everybody that was there that night was going to be there that night. Jay Sebring lived up the street at Jean Harlow's house. Stephen Parent was visiting the caretaker, William Garrettson, and Abigail and Wojciech were living there because Sharon was 8.5 months pregnant, and they were there in case Sharon broke water so they could rush her to the hospital to give birth. So there was no party there that night. They were all, Sharon and Abigail were both in their nightgowns, and Wojciech was in his dark navy blue pajamas with the light blue piping around the edge. So, except for Jay, who was dressed because he was going to go home, no one was in clothes to celebrate and have a party that night. So that's the truth.
Everybody was
that.
invited and welcome.
No one was invited. There was no party. That's the whole thing.
Was there a kid that just was there by circumstance?
The kid was there. There's a story about the kid, about Stephen Parent, that nobody talks about because it was sealed tight, but he had a rap sheet about him. And in the day, being homosexual back in the day, you couldn't. It was a criminal offense. So they think that what happened is that he was up there, trying to get William Garrettson to go with him and to do something, and William Garrettson was not really interested. We don't know what happened with that, but he was leaving. And right as he was leaving, Tex Watson came in and said, flagged him down, went, put the gun in the car. He goes, no, I won't say anything. Bang, 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 bang. Point blank range, 5.22 caliber bullets, close proximity to one another, hit his heart, his lungs, the aorta, and to the blood. He just died out right there. Because some of the cops took some of the pictures before we sealed it in the vault, but there's so many more in the vault, and just like Abigail Folger's filleted, scarred face with this laceration, and they said Sharon had 16 stab wounds. Yeah, but she had defensive wounds that were from one upper arm to the lower arm that you could see just going from one to the other. Those were not wounds. It was she was trying to block, and there was a slash from the top to the bottom. It was just
I can't imagine the terror in that house then.
Yeah, and then Wojciech's skull was bashed in, and he took the gun, he took the 22 caliber long barrel and started smashing the back of the handle till the handle broke off.
And you said you've seen, how many of the members of that night have you seen
victims?
in here? Yeah.
I've seen only one apparition, and that was Jay Sebring. Other people have, friends have come to the house the first time, said, oh, I saw your girlfriend. It's like, I broke up with her a couple months ago. What did you see? She goes, well, I saw this girl. She had long blonde hair, and she was in a white nightgown. And she walked towards the staircase, and I turned the corner and looked, and then I figured she went down the staircase. And it's like, my girlfriend was a brunette, and I said that wasn't my girlfriend, and we were the only two in the house. Other people have seen, spoken of seeing Abigail Folger's apparition here, but like I said, it's beyond them. The house is like, as Lisa Williams said, a ghost flop house. So spirits come in, they hang out, they get recharged, and they go. And some stay.
And there's a safe zone. You've made it,
yeah. Exactly. I pretty much just said, yeah, you want to hang here? What do I care? You're not bothering me. I don't have a problem with it because what am I just saying? I'm going to have a tantrum. Get out of my house! Get out of my house! Get out of my house! I'm an UCLA fan all the way. Yeah. I went to the 84 and 86 Rose Bowls. Is anybody feeling anything energy-wise in this?
I'm feeling more here than I was any other room.
I don't know if you guys want. Somebody wants to stand right next to me. I'm feeling an awful lot of like energy where I'm like literally feeling like I'm rocking really heavy on a boat. And this is not that this is not exactly level. But
it's funny you're saying that because I just keep feeling seasick.
Exactly, seasick.
Ever since we came on this level, I keep feeling seasick.
It's intense. You feel that intense energy. It's crazy. There's something in this. It's like right now. It's really heavily. There's just something about it. I can't explain it.
Here's a picture of Jay Sebring in his house. Weird. Now that we've left, we can't get the microphones or anything to work. Now that we've left that house,
You ran power up there.
That
too.
was.
You ran out of power.
Yeah, my batteries ran out. All kinds of weird things happened while we were parked there.
My phone was out and charging it.
You know, there's no way in the world I could have ever anticipated getting to go in that guy's haunted house, but what a trip. It was pretty cool to get to bring all my friends that were out on this tour today into what I go through when I show up somewhere and I start vlogging it and they go, hey, you want to come on in? They got that experience too, so pretty cool day. Hope you guys all enjoyed this. Come back and see me tomorrow. Have a great night.